Hello everyone and welcome back to another Battlegrounds Game Center unboxing video. I'm Patrick and today I'm going to be unboxing a new game by Chip Theory Games, 20 Strong. Now this is a solo only game with a lot of modular components. There's multiple decks that come with it as well as promo cards here. This one kind of snuck up on me. I actually didn't know anything about it until we got it here in the store, and once I read more about it and looked into it, this game is one of my favorite games of 2023. This will probably be my most played game of 2024, I think. It's quick and easy to understand. It comes in a small package. You can take it with you, but it has a lot of tactical depth and a good chunk of randomness to go along with that, which it's usually what I like in my games. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and open up the core box here. So this is what you can get. Usually it has all the components to play the game, but it has the Solar Sentinels base game as well. There are some expansions you can get with it, the Too Many Bones and the Victorum. These are all based off of Chip Theory properties, which I think is kind of cool. And then there's a few promos you can get for their new game coming up, Tanglewood, I believe. We sell this in store as a bundle, in store on our online store and eBay, and I will post links for that below. But let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside. So we'll go ahead and start with the base box here that includes all of the components needed to play the games. So I'll get the box off. Ooh. So can't really see it in the camera here, but it has like a nice felt topping here and on the bottom of this. So here's the rule book. It's very tiny, but the rules themselves are pretty easy to understand. The reason it's called 20 Strong is because of the dice that you use in the game. You have 20 dice, 17 of which are your attribute dice, or the ones that you will roll to do a lot of skill checks, and then you have 3 that are your attribute dice, like health, energy, stuff like that. So we can open these up and kind of take a look at them. So they are kind of a little see-through. They got some nice sparkles inside of them. And if you're familiar with Hopamoclis, Victorum, or any of those games, they have like the same kind of idea where it shows you how many pips are hits. So like this, the green dice are 3, but then the rest are blank. Blue being has 4, and then blank, 2 blank and stuff. So they roll nice. They have a nice feel to them. They look cool. They're a really big highlight of the game, and I really like them. Let's look here. We got this little tracker here. It's like a little magnetic chip. Obviously, Chip Theory Games is very well known for having poker chips in their games. It adds a lot of quality to their products, which I really like, and this one is no different. It's actually magnetized. So depending on which game you are playing, you use one of the different sides, and then it can be used as like a health tracker or points, or however it gets used for all of the different games that are going to be included in the system. Right now there's just 3, but I know that they are looking to expand it in the future with even more games. You might see some for Cloudspire, Tanglewood I know is one that's coming up here soon, and so on. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. And then in the box itself is the deck used for Solar Sentinels, one of their new IPs here. It's a space-themed game. Let's take a look at what's inside this box here. So first is the rules pamphlet here that comes with it. So this augments the core rules. So the core rules are the same for every game, but in their own games have different changes. So like how the setup works, how the dice will be used. Each game plays in its own way. This one is very roguelike, where you have like a stack of 3 decks, and you'll be rolling dice to fight off aliens, and you're trying to get enough aliens to the point to where you can fight the boss alien. And if you win, awesome. More than likely you're going to lose, definitely the first few times you play. But there are difficulty abilities here, or difficulty changes to make it easier or harder, and so forth. So yeah, nice little quick little rules pamphlet, not too much to read. Let's go ahead and look at the cards themselves. So there's a few different stacks of cards in this, so let me just separate them out. To kind of go over the different stacks of cards, there's 4 different stacks in the Solar Sentinels. So first you got your heroes here, which will show you, they're double-sided, so there's actually 6 heroes in total. And they'll show you what their health is, their recovery, their energy, and so forth. This is what these dice will be used for. So every card that is a hero in the game, for each of the games, will have these 3 stats, and they correspond to these 3 dice. So they're always used in each game. They all have special abilities in these ones. And I don't know if you can quite see it on camera, but all these cards here, and then once we get to the enemies as well, they have a really nice UV type printing for the colors. Like they're blue on these ones and it's going to be red on the aliens. I just think that is a really cool look. And the card quality itself is like, it's not your typical cards like linen finish or anything. It's got more of a plasticky feel, but durable, if that makes sense. Another cool thing about the characters, and this is for every game, is they have stars next to their names. Basically what this means is they can be used in any of the different games. So like I could use Beckett's Sunforger here in Too Many Bones, and vice versa. So some of them don't have it because usually the abilities correspond to the specific game that you're playing, whereas the other ones are a little bit more universal. So those are the characters, there's 6 of them. Next, we got a big stack of what are missions here. These basically are a way to make the game harder, or just a different way to play it instead of just going through the normal way. These are kind of like you get, I think like 3 or 5 of them, I don't remember how many, but they will be used in order. You have to complete them in order before you can take on the final boss. So it just makes the game that much harder. And the game already is decently challenging because it is, it's got a lot of randomness on how the stacks lay out and, your dice rolls. So it is very much a roguelike game. And some of the best solo games are roguelike. So yeah, that's really cool. Next, we have a giant stack of enemies. So these are the different aliens you're going to be facing in Solar Sentinels. Again, they have like that red UV printing here. They have health values, attack values, abilities on them. You'll notice that some of them are yellow and some of them are orange. Yellow are kind of like your basics. They have like a level on them. You can kind of choose if you want to fight them. So each round you get to choose a stack and then you get to fight with the top alien on that. However, the orange ones are mandatory, meaning you have to pick them in order to fight before you can carry on. And then some of them have different levels, which will correspond to like missions and stuff. But there's a whole heck of a lot of them with different abilities, different stats. There's just so many. The backs of the cards have that UV printing as well, that nice bright red. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love everything about the production of this game, specifically Solar Sentinels. Really, really like it. And then the final stack for Solar Sentinels is going to be the different bosses you can face. So after you get through one of the stacks here, you'll have a random boss and they'll have abilities which add more enemies to help them and so forth. And you basically have to keep rolling and try to get through it if you can. They have really high health values, attack values. But I've seen it done to where you can get the boss and all the enemies in like one go. It can happen. And then the backs of these are really cool actually, with their shininess there. Really like that. So yeah, that's kind of a really quick overview of Solar Sentinels. Again, you have all these dice here that have different pip values. Most of them are just basic hits or blanks, and then there's usually 1 crit on every single die, which counts as 2 hits. And then the idea of the game is you'll have all these to start, but then you have to choose how many you want to commit to each challenge. You'll roll them, and then they'll go away. And then when it comes time to recover, you'll actually recover so many dice. Like this one would only recover 1. All right, so that's Solar Sentinels, a really cool intro game. That's why it comes in the base set with all the components to learn and play, 20 strong. But that's not all you can get. There are 2 other modules here for Hoplomachus, Victorum, and Too Many Bones. So we'll go ahead and choose one of these. I don't know which one. And we'll go through those. We'll get this packed away. We'll go through these. And with a little bit of editing magic, we'll get to the next one. All right, so we are at Too Many Bones now. So we're going to go ahead and open this up, see what comes inside of it. So we'll go look ahead at the rules pamphlet here. So again, it just kind of pulls out, double-sided, has all the different rules listed, how it plays, what cards do, your setup and everything. We're not going to really go over everything that's in the rules here, but just to kind of give you an idea of what comes in each of these different boxes. So yeah, we'll kind of go through the stacks here. So these are, again, most of these cards have some kind of UV printing on them. You can kind of see the shininess. These ones are a little harder to tell, but it has it on the names. These, I believe, are like the main bosses. They're double-sided for Too Many Bones. I've only ever played Too Many Bones once, actually, so as far as the world is concerned, I'm not super familiar with it. but if any of you play it and as you're looking at these cards, I'm sure a lot of it'll remind you of the game. And from what I've heard, this is almost like playing just like a small version of Too Many Bones of cards, which is pretty cool considering I don't own Too Many Bones yet. So this is going to be my intro into the world. So yeah, we got lockpicks. So I know there's some new mechanics with Too Many Bones that has to do with like lockpicking and items and loot, which is cool. You can kind of see where you'd be placing dice down onto these cards. These are our characters here, again with the hearts, the recovery and all that. So it's all universal. Some of them will have the stars on them. Characters, looks like we got some enemies here. Some nice little octopus, tentacles. The backside, I think these were kind of like events, but yeah, again, the UV printing on the titles and the names of the cards, which is pretty cool. So these look like they're encounter cards. And clearly you can see like this is completely different from Solar Sentinels, but it still uses the base mechanics of the 20 strong system. So I'm not 100% sure how this one plays just yet, but you're getting a bunch of different types of games with just using the 20 dice, which is really cool. I really like that. And we sell this as a bundle, so you can get all of it, including the promo cards, which I'll look at here shortly, for $70, basically the price that it was on GameFound. And we have that up on our online store and in-store. But these look like these are all the different enemies. So we'll kind of just go through a little here. Troll Ramper, Goblin Broadcaster, bunch of goblins. Crunman. So yeah, literally a Goblin Terminator G800. That's hilarious. Yeah, and I believe on the opposite side they have like levels as well. So like here's 5, 1. So I think you kind of go through the stacks in a linear fashion. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked at the rules just yet for this one. But yeah, that's all the different things that come in the Too Many Bones. This could be your favorite one, Solar Sentinels could be one, or our next one, Victorum, could be your favorite one. And Victorum is probably my favorite one with how it plays. It is very different from these two. It has a little bit more of an exploration feel to it, which I really like. So yeah, let's go ahead and move over to that one in 3, 2, 1. All right, so we are over on the final game in the 20 strong system, Hoplomachus Victorum. So this one, like I previously stated, plays a little bit differently with its setup. So you actually kind of make this triangle mountain, type of look. And the whole goal of the game is to work your way up through these camps, defeating monsters, enemies, until you're strong enough to eventually make it to the top to defeat the Scion, which could be the big bad of the world or some other kind of big bad. But you're actually going to be moving with your card or your token here, the chip that comes in the game with this side up here. And it's going to be moving around. You're going to be, you'll have your character, you'll be using the dice, which kind of work almost like, instead of having all your dice all at once, you're actually recruiting your dice. So you're getting stronger as you go, and they kind of work like minions of sort. You'll use them in your battles to come. So this one is pretty cool. It's probably the hardest out of all of them. It probably has the most rules as well. But it's definitely my favorite. I really like the gladiator theme. I love Hoplomachus. Show you what comes in this deck. So we've got these these are some of the main enemies you'll be facing. You got like the Hydra there. Again, UV printing on the name. Pluto, these are the Scions, I believe. So there's a big stack of Scions, so like in-game bosses. Kind of like with the Solar Sentinels and the aliens. Here's your characters here. So the cool thing about this game is you have your characters on one side, like what you get to choose. Again, here are the stars, meaning they can be universally used in each of the systems. But in whichever ones you don't pick, though, end up becoming enemies in the different camps. So you kind of have like a double choice. It's like, oh, I really like this one for how it runs, but the rest of these, how they work against me. Is there one that I don't want to go up against, so maybe I play as them instead. So there's already strategic choices before you even play the game. So I really like that. A few other cards here. So yeah, some abilities here. Then you've got, there's quite a few stacks in this one. Offerings, the titles are nice UV printed. So there's a lot of abilities, a lot of rules. And while it's a lot of game in just a few little boxes, which is really cool. So here's some of the enemies. So you have them on the one side here. That shows you like their abilities, their health, their attacks, just like in the other games. The back actually has like a full artwork with like these UV printing on them, which is really cool. Just really love the gladiator like fantasy theme. And here's some more monsters and enemies as well here. So yeah, again, you're just kind of working your way up the pyramid or the mountain or whatever, getting all the way to the top to fight the Scion, but you gotta build up your dice pool and just get better as you go. So yeah, that is it's a really cool system. I really like this, and I think you'll really like it too, especially if you're a big Solar player like I am. Okay, and so for the last bit, we have 3 promo cards here that are going to be in that are used in Tanglewood, which is the next game coming for 20 Strong, or the next deck. But these are universal characters, so they can actually be used in any of these, so you can get a feel of how they work before the new one even comes out. So you got like Tink Tok, Beanstalker, Gold Spinner, and what I like about these ones is you have their health, all the same stats as the rest of the cards, but the way their abilities work is after you trigger them, they actually flip, and you get different versions of the same character. So you effectively have 2 abilities on these, which is really cool. Okay, so that is everything that comes in the bundle for 20 Strong. You get the base game with Solar Sentinels, all the dice, Too Many Bones, Hoplomachus Victorum, and the promo cards. We have it available in store on our eBay or on our online store, and I'll leave links below. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, go ahead and like and subscribe to us. We have a lot of cool fun plans for the year of 2024. Thank you again for watching. I'm Patrick at Battlegrounds Game Center, and I'll see you next time.